I'm going to show you one of the games that was awarded a Best Game prize at the ACO Super Seniors tournament played on the Greek island of Kos in May 2026. So Super Seniors, that's over 65s, and this ACO event is really lovely, really enjoyable, wonderful atmosphere. So it combines chess tournament with a holiday. The hotel is absolutely splendid. There's sun, sea, sand, great food. It's a very nice time of year actually in Greece, May. It's not too hot. And there are grandmaster coaches there. I'm one of the coaches there. And we give lectures during the event. And this game was nominated for a special prize by Spiridon Skembris, Greek grandmaster. And the winner is Rudi Indemans from Belgium, who was playing in Group G. I should mention that everyone is put in a group according to their ratings, so you never get someone who's way above you in strength. So I think that's a very nice feature of the tournament. And the way that Rudi plays is very much according to my philosophy in the opening: straightforward, classical, no wasted moves. So let's crack on with this game. So his opponent is Grant Perks from the USA, playing white. And Grant played c4, e6. Okay, so not d4, but in where we might have a Queen's Gambit, who knows? But e4 instead. So d5 is a good response. I mean, you could arrive at this position via a French defense as well. So an exchange of pawns in the middle. So white is clearly going for an isolated queen's pawn position with once the pawn reaches d4. Knight f6, good move. Not queen takes pawn because then knight c3 and white would gain time. But black simply wants to recapture with the knight, so very sound. I think the best move is just to play d4 here and knight f3 and get developed. Bishop b5 check, so that's a tricky move. Knight d7, I think it's a good response. And knight c3, so it looks like white is perhaps trying to hang on to that pawn on d5 for the moment. But I think very nice way of playing this. Played by Rudi. a6. So putting the question to the bishop. So if the bishop comes back here, then it can be pushed, and it may be bishop b7, and this pawn is going to be collected. So white decides to exchange off and play knight e2. Now I think it's possible for black to collect this pawn straight away, maybe by moving this bishop away. But instead of that, Rudi just plays bishop d6, and I like this a lot because it's all about quick development, and it's nice somehow, with these bishops pointing in the right direction on the king side. That feels very nice. d4. Okay, white starts to occupy the center and castles. Now here clearly white gets cold feet about castling kingside. I think this would have been the best move, but maybe he was worried about the Greek gift sacrifice, I don't know. But actually it definitely doesn't work here, because after queen h4, simply bishop f4 covers h2 and white is just a piece up. So I think castles is best. And if, say, rook e8, then bishop f4. Just exchanging off that dangerous bishop. Now, after bishop b5, I think inevitably black is going to get this pawn back, but it can't be too bad for white. But white thinks, well, maybe you know, I'll pin here with the bishop on d6. Maybe it's advantageous to play like this. But again, no panic from white. Just rook e8. The rook is bound to be effective on the open file. And then, you know, black can decide what to do later about this pin. Now, in this case, it's not possible to castle. Now, bishop h2 check is very strong, an old trick, and just queen g5, and black has an excellent position. So white decides instead to play queen d3. Now, does he have ambitions perhaps to castle on the queen side? But I tell you what, lingering with the king in the middle is very dangerous, and also it's not absolutely clear how good the queen is on d3. It could be vulnerable. It's on a light square, and just check out that bishop. And that gave Rudi an idea. b5. Excellent move. And I think now Grant realized that he was going to be in a spot of trouble because, well, if, let's say, castle's here, then b4, the knight moves out of the way, and then bishop b5, and that's a complete disaster. Or castle's queenside, and again b4 and bishop b5. So this is the big threat, and you can see how that would bring this lovely light squared bishop into the game, which doesn't have an opponent. So yes, the queen is actually rather vulnerable on d3. And if a3, then a5, well, certainly white wouldn't want to castle queenside there, because lines would open very quickly. So this is problematic. And yeah, here again, castle's queenside. Well, b4 is possible, but well, again, we've got this move, bishop h2, followed by queen takes g5. So it just looks like this whole idea with bishop g5, particularly followed by queen d3, is just a bit misguided. So white tried f3, b4, knight e4. So this was the idea, to support that knight on e4, perhaps looking to exploit this pin. But bishop b5 is still really dangerous. It's very nasty, slicing through white's position, and wow, I love the two bishops here. Now the best idea is just to come back to c2, but after this simple move, well, white has to exchange, and basically black just exchanges and collects the d-pawns, and black is just a pawn up for nothing with superb pieces. That bishop can be supported by the c-pawn. But okay, so it's not good for white. But this made matters much worse. Queen d2, and now simple tactical trick. Knight takes e4, of course, bishop takes queen, then knight takes queen, and black wins material. So it's an ancient trick, just breaking free of this pin with a tactic. Pawn takes knight played, f6. So the bishop has to move, and then rook takes e4. This is really nasty. And white just runs into a terrible pin on the e-file, and that's game over. And didn't take long for the game to finish. Final piece comes into the game at queen e4 check, winning the bishop, and that was the end of that. White resigned. So a dominant performance by Rudi Indemans. Congratulations to him on a very well played game. What I like about this performance was, as I mentioned before, every move counted. There was nothing spare in black's play. And when one plays like this, then any inaccuracy from your opponent can be exploited. So yeah, really nice game. So I repeat, if you're interested in playing these ACO events, then do check out their website. I'll put the link below. And the next event is actually in October. It's an over 50s tournament in Crete. And then the COS tournaments will again take place in May 2027. Perhaps I'll look forward to seeing you at one of those tournaments.